If the Middle East has oil, we have rare earths. Deng Xiaoping, Chinese leader. Friends, just look at the time here. 1992. Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping made this statement in 1992. Now come on, leave that for a moment. Now look at this. What you are seeing here are official American documents. In these, America identifies India as a strategic partner, friend, ally. That means, according to America, we are a good friend, important friend, a strategic partner. That's the official tag. Similarly, America calls China a strategic competitor or adversary, which means enemy or rival. But that's only on paper. What is in reality? Friends, in reality, Donald Trump has imposed a 50% tariff on India, which is his supposed friend. But for China, the rival, the adversary, the strategic competitor, America has given 3 months of relief. They are negotiating with China. Now the news is Donald Trump is further expanding this relief. They are talking to each other. They do not have the courage or guts to face China head on. Trump, who was shouting tariffs, 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 has now softened his tone before China, saying no more tariffs for you now, let's talk about the trade deal. So why is this? Has Trump developed some problem in his head? No, nothing like that. He is alright. Friends, here secret lies in China's leverage power. Friends, Trump had also imposed hundreds of % tariffs on China earlier. But after China gave just one counter blow, Trump got scared. He lowered his tail and reversed his decision. He postponed the tariffs on China. He is continuously doing so. The reason behind all this is leverage. Yes, leverage. That powerful weapon China has. The moment America imposed tariffs, China replied. What China replied? Like this. Fine, we will also hold something of yours. And we will hold it tightly. And China grabbed the very lifeline of Trump, America. How? By blocking rare earth magnets, rare earth metals, rare earth minerals, and squeezing America's lifeline. That is when the world once again realized the importance of leverage. To maintain its influence in the world, to protect its interests, China has this powerful leverage. So, if India too doesn't want to bow down before any country, we also need leverage. But at this very moment, we have none. Not a single strong leverage we have. That is why Trump is flying high against India, but hiding with a towel on his head against China. He does nothing to China, the #1 buyer of oil from Russia. But on India, the second biggest buyer of Russian oil, he declares tariffs and openly insults Indian economy, calling it a dead economy. So does India have no path here? Is it impossible to get leverage? What can India do for this? What did China do? And what can India learn from its adversary, China? Friends, let's find out everything in this today's video. Please stay with us till the very end. It's a very important video. The leader who saw the future. Friends, the reason Trump today bent before China and postponing tariffs deadline after deadline is rare earths. This is China's leverage, not just rare earth supply chains. China controls all kind of supply chain. Yeah, fact is that China doesn't only control rare earth supply chain, China control all kind of supply chain. But the biggest leverage China has is now rare earths. Rare earth materials and rare earth minerals. Simply put, these are natural elements found only in very small quantities in the earth. Even if you dig a huge mountain, you will find only a small quantity of rare earth material. They are found in tiny amounts like dust, and processing them is very difficult. It needs massive processing power. But now, these rare earth materials are needed for everything from the chips in your smartphone to fighter jets to electric cars. And Deng Xiaoping, the Chinese leader, understood this 33 years ago when nobody even cared what are rare earths. When chips, smartphones, computers were still science fiction, Deng Xiaoping had that vision. Back then, Deng, with his foresight, his vision, thought about it, talked about it. He believed in the next 30 years, China will become a superpower using these rare earths. And he said, if the Arabs have oil, we have rare earths. At that time, China was just taking its first steps in development. It was a poor country. When he said this, the world probably laughed at him. Who is this man? What nonsense he is talking about? But Deng thought differently. He had a vision. This is important, the vision. It is not like he could predict mobile phones, electronics, electric vehicles exactly 35 years ago. But he gave importance and respect to what his scientists were telling him. Chinese scientists explained the importance of rare earths to him, and he listened. Friends, first thing first, rare earths were one of the very few resources, natural resources, China had in large amounts. It didn't have much of oil or natural gas, but it had rare earths. Especially in a place called Bayan Obo, there were huge reserves. Chinese scientists like Xu Guangxian told Deng Xiaoping, see, these minerals have special chemical and physical properties. Even in the 80s and 90s, rare earths were already starting to be used in civilian and military technologies. Considering these three factors, Deng Xiaoping calculated that rare earths would become China's lifeline to superpower status in the future, in next 2 to 3 decades. He declared them a national strategic asset. As a result, in 1980s and 90s, China began carefully guarding its rare earths. It started growing the industry. It started to build ecosystem for it. It poured money into studying these minerals. China included them in its industrial policy. And Deng didn't just focus on mining rare earths in China. He said, even if we don't have them here, it's fine. Do others have them in their soil? Dig and bring it here. We will process it. Let's take control of processing power of rare earths. We will do it for the world at low cost. So China massively built refining capacity. Chinese scientists developed rare earth separation technology. And then Deng Xiaoping's policy allowed it to scale up at industrial level, building many processing plants. He then established magnet factories using those rare earths. From mining, refining, processing to magnet making, rare earth magnet making, China built the entire E to Z value chain. Between 1978 and 1995, China's rare earth production grew by 40% every year. In the 90s, it started exporting as well. It pushed competitors away. Rare earth processing is tough and polluting, friends. Few companies in the world could do it. None could do it as cheaply as China. China even began buying foreign companies. For example, in 1995, Magnaquench, an American company, made neodymium magnets from rare earths. China offered to invest. The United States said, only if the company operates here in the United States for 5 years, you can invest. China agreed and invested. Then company worked for 5 years in the United States, and the very next day after the 5 years were up, it shifted entirely to China. The result? Today China is the king of rare earths. It produces and processes 97% of the world's rare earths. Not 20, not 30%, not even 50-70%, it is 97%. Look at this figure, almost everything, 97%. When Trump imposed tariffs, China stopped supplying rare earth magnets and material to America. America had no processing capacity of its own. Without rare earths, American companies saw their material costs jump to 60 times. Not 60%, 60 times. A whopping 6,000% increase. Even the EV sector came to a halt. This is China's leverage we are talking about. Friends, it is a power button. It is not just jargon. Leverage. It is a power button. In any global conflict or negotiation, you must have something in your hand. The steering wheel. The button of power. China has it. So India need one too. Where is India's button? What can we press? What is India's leverage? Friends, if India now decides to gain leverage through rare earth minerals, it will be foolish. Yes, we can make some rare earths and be self-sufficient, but we cannot control world supply chain right away because this job is already done by China. Friends, China also holds around 50% of world's rare earth reserves. India has only 8%. So as I already said, we can use it for ourselves, but we can't really gain global leverage from it. In the late 1980s, during Indira Gandhi's time, even India thought about entering semiconductors. We had great plans. Everybody had plans back then. Taiwan was trying, China was trying, India also tried. We decided to try. In Mohali, Punjab, the government built a factory called Semiconductor Complex Limited. It was a government-run semiconductor factory. The factory opened, but then in 1989 suddenly a fire broke out. Indira Gandhi had already passed away by then. The factory was destroyed in the fire. Nobody knows how it happened, but after the fire, we didn't defuse the fire and try to start it again. The factory and the semiconductor game was entirely abandoned from there. During the same period, Taiwan and China were heavily focused on semiconductors. While we were hit by fire, shut down the factory and just sat quietly then, they kept moving forward. The result, our semiconductor ambitions ended right there. Look at Taiwan and China today and look at us. If fire burns something, shouldn't we put the water and start again? But we didn't do it. We never even made that effort. Anyway, that's the past. But the question is, what can India do now? Friends, we must become stronger in the fields where we already have some kind of foothold. And becoming stronger doesn't just mean mining more or producing more. It means moving higher up in the value chain. Like China, we must achieve complete A to Z control. We must learn to process critical minerals ourselves instead of exporting them raw. For this, we must invest money in domestic production. In fields like pharma and IT, we already have some level of foothold. Now we must make that control even stronger. We now must step into producing products, not just labor arbitrage. I mean, not just saying wages are cheaper here. In America, labor cost is high. Outsource your small works here to India. We will hire engineers at a lower cost and get it done for you. That is not ambitious enough. We must invest in innovation. We should ask our IT companies, what will you do by just holding profits in thousands of crores? Put that money into R&D. Create new products like Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT. Why can't Indians create these kind of products? And after creating, why can't Indian companies launch these products in global scale? We have to do it. Otherwise, why do companies even exist? Take pharma as an example. We call ourselves the pharmacy of the world. But the raw material and pharma ingredients we need are imported from China. China fills huge containers and sends them to us by ship. Can we not make these in India itself? We must. There is no other option for a big country like ours. If something is not available in India, we must diversify our sources at least. Also, instead of just thinking about how to fix what we don't have now, we should think about future. We should stop only patching current problems. If we spend all our life putting water into today's fires, who will think about what will be needed 20-30 years from now? We need the mindset of Deng Xiaoping, a mindset of thinking about the future. What will the world need in next 30 years? What things can give us strategic advantage then? Yes, we must solve today's problems, but we must also work on long-term ideas. For example, India has massive amounts of thorium. in Kerala, in Odisha, and along the both eastern and western coasts, thorium is found in huge quantities. Everyone knows thorium can be used as nuclear fuel in the future. But to use it, we need the right kind of reactors. Till now, we have not been able to build them properly. China has moved ahead in this area too. Experts say thorium could be better than uranium. We have it in abundance. We must develop the reactors and the technology to use it. Even decades ago, Homi Bhabha Jahangir had said India should work on thorium reactors. The idea was given back then. If we had started serious work then, things would have been different now. But even today, we don't have an operational thorium reactor. China, on the other hand, could achieve dominance in thorium anytime. They are already very close to operationalize thorium reactor. They have already done work required for that. Similarly, lithium, graphite, helium, all of these have deposits in India. Reports keep coming about new finds. We recently found lithium in Kashmir Valley. But finding it under the earth is one thing. Can you just pick all the lithium and put into your mobile phone directly? No, we need the mining and battery making technology. We must focus on that. And not just these minerals. We must ask in the next 30 years, what will the world need? What will be missing? What can we supply? We must plan as a nation. If we don't grab those opportunities, if we don't take the first steps, then as a large country with #1 population in the world, we will never gain real leverage. We will remain a bunch of poor people. Without leverage, nobody cares us. Friends, what do you think on this? Please let us know your opinion on the comment section below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's meet again. Namaste.